CJ Stroud is not a top 10 QB, or at least that's what this new list from ESPN just said about him, and it has everybody speaking out. So, in this video, we're going to go into details of that list from ESPN, as well as give you all the analysis reactions, my reaction, and where I personally would rank CJ Stroud in that top 10. All of that right here on Texans Digest. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Donovan Ricondo, and this is where we break down all the latest news, rumors, and updates regarding your Houston Texans. So if you want to stay up to date, go ahead, hit that subscribe button below. But as I just said, this list was just dropped by ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, who he compiled a list of the top 10 NFL QBs according to executives, coaches, and scouts. And this is the list. You got Mahomes at 1, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, and Baker Mayfield. Those are the top 10 right there. And as many of you do not see, is CJ Stroud anywhere in that list? And Dan Orlovsky had some serious words for that as well, saying, quote, CJ Stroud not being on the list is, I think, silly, dumb, idiotic. People said after CJ Stroud's rookie year, best rookie season we ever had. Last year, bottom 5 offensive line. He lost his number 1, number 2, number 3 receivers for significant stretches, end quote. And Dan Orlovsky is absolutely right in this scenario, right? CJ Stroud, for what he was able to accomplish last season, the way the passing yards he was able to do, what he was able to complete to his receivers, who he just had, because again, a bunch of injuries riddled all year with Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs also being out for a period of time. He was able to still put up some solid numbers. Yes, the interceptions were a problem, was something that he did not really improve upon as the season went, but he still showed out when he needed to. He still led this team to an AFC South championship. Now, of course, a lot of that has to do with the amazing defense that DeMeco Ryans has put in place here in Houston. But at the same time, Stroud is a huge chunk of that as well. And Dan Orlovsky continued on about, why things did not go so well against Bobby Slowick. So we're going to get into that quote right here, saying, quote, his offensive coordinator never evolved. Complete disaster around him. And he was somewhat similar performance-wise. So the guy that people were saying, like, he's the next Joe Burrow, top 5 quarterback. All of a sudden, he's out of the top 10. That, for me, is probably the biggest gripe. And yes, I agree completely with Dan Orlovsky here. The fact that CJ Stroud is not even in this list, right? And I see guys above him in this list that I'm going to get to in just a second, but it just does not add up. It really does not. And Kevin Clark, who was also on First Take, had some other words to say about this whole situation as well, saying, quote, the most pressured guy on the planet last year on throws over 15 yards. The biggest issue with his production last year was the fact that his deep ball regressed badly from year 1 in Houston to year 2. The protection schemes, amateurish, and the offensive coordinator didn't seem to self-scout was a joke. So this to me was not on CJ Stroud last year. And I do love this take from Kevin Clark because he does, put some of the blame on CJ Stroud. We're not saying, oh, he was perfect last year, he should be in the top 10. Absolutely not. That deep ball was not working. Those completion percentages were getting lower. The interceptions were definitely a problem. He had some trouble in being able to move around just a little bit to buy himself some more time. Although the offensive line was atrocious and not very good, he was still has to take some blame for that as well. Credit to CJ Stroud this offseason, like I just mentioned in my video yesterday, is working on all those things, trying to cut off some body fat, putting in the work to prepare himself for this next season. But at the same time, right, CJ Stroud not being on this list is quite frankly ridiculous. And I want to go back to it because I want to point out the people ahead of him that I think should not even be ahead of him, quite frankly. The first person I see that I want to compare is Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, Damian Woody on First Take yesterday said that if you had to create a quarterback in a lab, you would create Justin Herbert. He has all the talent in the world. And don't get me wrong, I do think Justin Herbert is a fantastic QB in the league. However, I do not think from what we've seen from him in his time in the NFL and from what we've seen with only 2 years of CJ Stroud that you can say defiantly that he is a better quarterback than CJ Stroud. Yes, CJ Stroud had a down year, but at the same time, in case you forgot, these two teams met up in the playoffs last season. I don't understand this. These are the stats from the game. Albeit both quarterbacks didn't have the most phenomenal game, right? They both struggled a little bit, but look at this. Look at these stats. CJ Stroud, one touchdown, one interception for 200, I believe that's 82 yards. Justin Herbert, 242 yards, one touchdown, four interceptions. Four interceptions in a playoff game, games where it matters most. He lost them that game. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say he lost them that game. His receivers, I will say, dog water, terrible, awful, not good. A lot of drop balls from those receivers, and so you really can't blame all on Justin Herbert. But this is what we're dealing with. This is what happened. This is the real stuff. This is what is on paper, and you cannot tell me that Herbert is a better quarterback than CJ Stroud when CJ Stroud has already been to the divisional, twice, one time beating Justin Herbert to make it to that round. So when I look at all these things, I cannot sit here and tell you that Justin Herbert should be on the top 10 list and CJ Stroud should not. That is my opinion. I happen to believe I'm right. Obviously, I am biased. Obviously, I'm super biased because I'm a Texans fan. But at the same time, these things matter. And to not put CJ Stroud ahead of Justin Herbert to me is a bad thing. But you could make the case. Someone out there could make the case like, yes, he is not, but he should still be in the top 10. So I want to go back to the list here of once again, right? Who else do I think CJ Stroud can be ahead of in this list? And the first guy that I look at personally, and this is just me, you can go ahead and make fun of me all you want, but I think putting CJ Stroud above Matthew Stafford makes a lot of sense. Now, Matthew Stafford is an experienced quarterback. He has won a Super Bowl. Credit to him. He's fantastic. But as of right now, right, if I had to pick a quarterback to lead my team, I would choose CJ Stroud. Yes, age is a factor. Yes, all those things. But I do think a running quarterback is something that's going to be very important for the next few years. I would want to have CJ Stroud over Matthew Stafford. No discredit to Matthew Stafford. He's a very talented quarterback. He can do a lot of things. Again, I mentioned the Super Bowl. He's still killing it over there in Los Angeles. So all credit to him. But I would put CJ Stroud over him. I 100% would. Obviously, I'm biased. I could be wrong. Everyone watching these videos, they're probably biased as well. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but they're probably biased as well. But I do think CJ Stroud, I would put him over Stafford in that aspect because if I had to choose a quarterback to lead my team right now, I would put CJ Stroud over him right then, right there. Everyone else on this list, I see Jaden Daniels. I understand it, right? He had a phenomenal rookie season, better than CJ Stroud's rookie season by the numbers, right? And so he was able to reach, the NFC Championship. It was very, very close to even reaching the Super Bowl. Just very, very close. He almost had it there. But I'll let that one slide, right? I understand Jaden Daniels. I mean, it's his rookie year. A lot can happen. He could have a down year his second year, and I don't want to get into that part quite yet because Jaden Daniels has shown some signs of being a fantastic, great quarterback. But again, there's some other guys. Baker Mayfield. I see Baker, and I say, although Baker is killing it on the field right now, absolutely, I think he's doing a phenomenal job leading the Buccaneers. I could also make the case that if you put CJ Stroud in that position in Tampa Bay, that they would be as good or if not better than they currently are. CJ Stroud, again, very, very talented, had not very many wide receivers to throw it to last year, still put up some decent numbers, had a terrible offensive line, still put up some decent numbers, had a terrible offensive coordinator, still put up some decent numbers. And so that is my opinion on those things. I think he should be on this list. Quite honestly, I think CJ Stroud should probably, if you're making a top 10 list, should probably be around 7, right? I think guys like Patrick Mahomes will be the undisputed number 1. 2, 3, 4. I think it's an exchange or yeah, an exchange between those three guys. Me personally, I have Lamar Jackson at 2 because he has won 2 MVPs. Josh Allen, I have him at 3 for his ability to, finish games. I'm a big fan of Josh Allen and his play. I put him at 3. Joe Burrow at 4. Of course, I do think if Joe Burrow had a little bit of a better team, I put him at 3 over Josh Allen. But that's just me. But those guys, I think, are the undisputed top 4. I don't think anybody can really argue about that. But I think once you get to 5, you can really make a case for a lot of these guys, like CJ Stroud, who can be number 5. I do think a guy like Jared Goff deserves to be up there at number 5 because he had a phenomenal season last year, over 4,000 yards. And I think he is one of the most elite quarterbacks in the NFL today. I have Jalen Hurts also up there as well. Say what you want about Jalen Hurts. He won a Super Bowl. He is a bona fide winner. He gets things done, whether you like him, whether you hate him. He has that over guys like CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert, all those other younger guys who don't have Super Bowls quite yet. And so I put Jalen Hurts up there. And so that's where I'm kind of like, I don't think you can really go lower than 7. I think 7 is a good spot for CJ Stroud. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Again, you can make the case for him to be 5, 6, or 7, 8, 9, 10. Either one of those positions is fine with me. The fact that he is not even on this list, though, kind of infuriates me. And I'm sure a lot of Texans fans out there saw this and was like, what the heck is going on? And so I want to switch things back to you guys. I'm going to put everybody here on the spot. Give me your top 10 QBs in the NFL right now. Let me know in the comments who are your top 10, and I'll figure out where we have CJ Stroud in that top 10. I want to get an average. I want to get a good indication of where we all think he is in compared to his peers. So go ahead, leave that comment below, your top 10 QBs in the NFL. Let me know. And that pretty much wraps up this video of Texans Digest. Thank you guys so much for joining. I got the new mic. It's sounding a lot better. Finally, I will say that. But go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you have not already. We got more Texans content for you guys coming. It's going to start popping soon, day after day after day. We've got the content for you guys right here on this channel. So you're going to want to stick around. I've been your host, Donovan Ricondo. Till next time, adios.